Good evening. This is the Dolores County Broadcasting Network. And tomorrow is the NFL draft. And nobody seems to know what the Jets are going to do. Are they going to sell that number 3 draft pick? Who knows? The Jets don't know. Nobody knows. So I guess it'll be news on Monday. You bet. News on Monday. So, the DCTV 4-H TV news program for April 24th, 2019. The camera person is Cowboy Harrison. Video engineer and producer is Edward. Teleprompter and prompter is Dan. Our news anchor today is, Little Pink Dragon. And our meteorologist is Lion, Little Green Lion. I'm sorry, Little Green Lion. Had to get it right. And this is news director Dan. And now the news.
Welcome to the DCTV 4-H Kids TV News Show. Help us keep our news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. You can buy a sponsorship by calling 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Now for the news. Hi, I am Daniel, and this story is from the Durango Herald. Gas prices may hit $3 mark. Gas prices are expected to break $3 per gallon in Durango during the summer driving holidays such as Memorial Day and Labor Day, according to the AAA. The last time gas prices broke $3 in Colorado was October 2014, said Skylar McKinley, a spokesman for the AAA. I don't know. This year, gas prices in Colorado are likely to peak on Memorial Day and track close to $3 per gallon through the spring and summer driving season across Colorado, according to the AAA news release. Durango is likely to follow state trends and track slightly above average, McKinley said. I think Durango is a good weather vane for the entire state, he said. Montezuma County gas prices are likely to track higher than Durango because it's not a population center, he said. Regional population centers tend to see lower prices. The current average price for gas is $2.80 in Durango, up from $2.76 in April 2018, according to the AAA. The average price of gas in Colorado is $2.72 per gallon, up 30 cents from the last time last month, and about 10 cents higher than they were in April 2018. Gas prices are also higher than they were in 2016 and 2017 at this time. A variety of factors are driving up gas prices, such as global supply and demand, AAA said. Declines in oil exports from Iran and Venezuela are likely to hurt global economy, and at the same time the U.S. economy is healthy and wages are up, increasing the likelihood customers will travel and boost demand. The type of gas that is sold in the summer also boosts prices. In the spring, refineries start selling summer blend gasoline that doesn't evaporate as quickly, helping to decrease unhealthy ozone and smog levels. However, it is more expensive to make, according to the AAA. As gas prices rise, consumers reconsider their driving habits and plans, McKinney said. When gas prices cross the $3 per gallon mark, drivers consider carpooling and making other changes, but they don't typically take action, McKinney said. When gas prices hit $3.25 or $3.50 per gallon, drivers start changing their habits, he said. Gas prices are not expected to track above $3 per gallon for long, so AAA expects the summer travel season in 2019 will be on par with last year, a record-setting season, he said. During the peak holiday travel weekends, such as Memorial Day, trips longer than 50 miles increased about 5 to 7.5% above previous peaks in Colorado, he said. Durango tourism professionals are also expecting a strong travel season based on their booking, and Barbara Bowman, interim executive director of the Durango Area Tourism Office. I feel Durango is poised and ready for a strong summer, she said. This story from Durango Herald. Court to decide ban on high-capacity magazines. The fight over one of the most controversial gun bills ever to come out of the state capitol rages on. Colorado's ban on gun magazines that can hold more than 50 rounds of ammunition was one of a handful of gun control measures passed in aftermath of 2013 Aurora theater shooting. State gun lobby Rocky Mountain Gun Owners and its executive director, Dudley Brown, originally sued the state in 2016. They say the law is unconstitutional, but state district courts ruled that prohibiting the sale, transport, or possession of large capacity magazines for firearms was constitutional. In 2018, the Colorado Court of Appeals upheld the lower court's decision, saying the statute was a reasonable exercise of the state's policy power for the protection of public health and safety. Now Colorado Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case, and Brown thinks that it is a good sign. We think it's a good indicator that only were our arguments persuasive that this magazine ban really hasn't done anything to stop crime, and also that the California case, which struck down California's magazine prohibition, has some bearing on our case, he said. While RMGO has been unsuccessful thus far in convincing courts to repeal this statute, they aren't alone in their opposition. Republican Rep. Lori Sain of Firestone has sponsored bills to repeal the high-capacity magazine ban since 2014. She also pointed to the complete repeal of similar laws in California last month. A federal judge came to the same conclusion as required by the U.S. Constitution and blocked California's ban on magazines able to hold 10 rounds or more. Sain said similarly, the Colorado magazine ban imposes a burden on the constitutional right of citizens to protect themselves. Democratic State Senator Rhonda Fields served as member of the State House for Aurora when she sponsored the magazine ban in 2013, along with the then Democratic Senator Mary Hodge. Hodge is now a Adams County Commissioner. Everybody has a right to his day in court, I guess. We leave it up to the courts to decide, but I think we need to do more to prevent gun violence. Hodge said, I haven't evolved at all. I think I'm still in the same place. Massive backlash after a contentious legislative session led to 2 Colorado lawmakers being ousted in recall elections. The Independence Institute Research Director Dave Kopel said that the way the Colorado statute is written could be seen as a violation of gun owners' Second Amendment rights. I think that's certainly a fair argument. Kopel said, if you follow the plain language of the statute, there's no question this is unconstitutional. Kopel was the lead lawyer in another lawsuit stemming from the 2013 gun laws in the state. In the case, state sheriffs attempted to sue the state in federal court for violating their Second Amendment rights, but the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit decided it did not have jurisdiction in the case. Even after the state's Supreme Court makes a decision on the case, the issue may not be resolved. Judges vote differently in each state on constitutional concerns and appeal of a Colorado Supreme Court decision. Whatever that decision is, could force the U.S. Supreme Court to ultimately decide. Stories from the Journal. New Dolores Superintendent talks educational priorities experience. The Dolores School Board has selected Liz Richardson to soon take over as superintendent. As district superintendent. Richard came to the Dolores School District RE4A from Creede, Colorado, about 3 hours northeast of Dolores. He will replace intern Phil Casper, who took over after Scott Cooper resigned last year. Her contract begins July 1st. The Journal said Richard some question this week about her experiences and priorities as she heads to this new position. Where are you from? My husband and I have spent the last 2 years in Creede, and before that we were in the Front Range of Colorado. We lived east of Colorado Springs on the edge of Black Forest. We enjoy living outside of Colorado Springs, but eventually looking forward to moving away from the hectic life and traffic of the big city. Tell us about your career path. What led you to become a superintendent in Creede? I began teaching at 20. Education has been a focus of my entire life. I was able to teach for 16 years at different levels of K-12 education, ending my teaching career in high school English. I have been a principal and administrator for 16 total years as well. It seems that any school or district in which I serve continued to move me to these positions. I began to develop a passion for supporting teachers and students. I knew how difficult it was to teach with little administrative support, and have grown to be a supportive and dedicated administrator. Superintendency is the accumulation of many years of growing and learning. What draws you to Dolores? The people I was able to interact with in the interview process confirmed my desire to be in the Dolores School District. Our initial interest in the area came when we knew we would leave Creede. We had left in Montezuma County and have a desire to be closer to them. What are your priorities going to be in the position? My first priority is to get to know the district. This includes the school board members, community members, officials, staff, parents, and of course students. I want to listen and learn as much as possible. From there, I will coordinate with the priorities of the school board as we move forward. How will your past experiences help you lead the district? Hopefully, any past experiences have made me a better leader. I will glean on those experiences that are valuable and carefully lead forward for the district. The lower school leaders have been focusing lately on incorporating social emotional learning practices in the classroom. Do you have any thoughts on these initiatives? These initiatives are critical for student success. If students and staff do not feel included, secure, safe with the basic needs met, they cannot do their jobs. A teacher must be able to focus on the needs of his or her students, and students must be in a regulated state to learn. Only through understanding the effects of trauma can a district staff provide a true balancing education for any students. I support these initiatives fully. Acquiring grants and additional funding is a critical part of school operations. What is your experience in the realm? Financial needs are always great in education. I have extensive experience in bringing in extra revenue through grants and other resources. I look forward to helping the district find resources for needs. What are some of your favorite activities or hobbies? My husband and I enjoy riding motorcycles all over the state of Colorado and take trips across the country as well. I am also an avid reader and enjoy sitting by the fire or sitting in the sun with a book. I have compiled quite a resource of writing that will one day provide material for authoring books on education. Is there anything else you would like the Dolores community to know about you? I am honored and humbled to take the new position. Please know that my office is always open to the community. Please stop by and share your thoughts and opinions. Stories from the Journal. Empire Electric energy supplier funded firm that fought clean air rules. Empire Electric Association wholesale energy supplier is one of more than 20 companies that funded a lobbying firm devoted to fighting environmental protections. The lobby firm Utility Air Regulatory Group is facing a congressional investigation because its former employees are now officials of the Environmental Protection Agency, where they may be continuing to serve the interests of utility companies, according to a news release with from the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. The Utility Air Regulatory Group is a secretive organization that has run out of law firm Hutton and Williams and is known for fighting Clean Air Act rules, according to S&P Global Market Intelligence. The Clean Air Act governs the emissions of air pollutants such as mercury. Empire Electric's wholesale energy supplier Tri-State Generation and Transmission paid $167,418 in 2017 to Huntons and Williams, according to Politico, a national nonprofit news outlet. It was one of more than 20 industry groups and utility companies, including some of the largest coal-burning power producers, that collectively paid the law firm $8.2 million in 2017. Tri-State also supplies La Plata Electric Association. About 48% of the Tri-State's power comes from coal, according to the Center for New Energy Economy. Politico also reported an employee for Hutton and Williams, Will Wenrum, is now working for the EPA as an assistant administrator in charge of issues including climate change, smog, and power plants mercury pollution. The House Committee on Energy and Commerce is now investigating the Utility Air Regulatory Group and whether attorneys who formerly represented the group, including Wenrum, are continue to serve the interest of utility companies while working at the EPA. As part of the investigation, the committee sent a letter to Tri-State this month asking for the source of funds the co-op sends to the Utility Air Regulatory Group. The letter is also seeking all documents exchanged between employees of Tri-State and specific current or former EPA employees among communications and documents. In addition to Tri-State participating in utility air regulatory groups as a member, a Tri-State official has held a leadership role with the group. The Tri-State Senior Vice President of Policy and Chief Compliance Officer Barbara Waltz served on the Policy Council and Steering Committee for the Utility Air Regulatory Group, according to her bio on the University of North Dakota website. She has served on the Group Policy Council since 2005 and on the Steering Committee since 2010. Tri-State is a member of the Utility Air Regulatory Group because the group allows Tri-State to have access to industry-wide information and public comment processes that facilitate Tri-State compliance with the Clean Air Act, said Lee Bogie, a Tri-State spokesman. He said the co-op looks forward to responding to the questions from the Federal Committee. Tri-State's responses are due this week. Several residents expressed concern about Tri-State's role in funding the Utility Air Regulatory Group at LPEA's board meeting this month because of the industry group's role fighting pollution regulations. Jeff Bork was among those who spoke to the board, expressing his distaste for Tri-State's support of the Utility Regulatory Group. This is just a classic case of Tri-State doing what it wants and lack of oversight by the Tri-State board, he said in an interview with the Durango Herald. He called on the LPEA board for reaffirm its support for the Clean Air Act and asked the co-op to work with other members of Tri-State to audit its spending on advertising and lobbying. He would also like to see LPEAs file a complaint against Tri-State with the Colorado Public Utilities Commission for its spending on the Utility Air Regulatory Group. Tri-State is spending our money to undermine our interests, he said. LPEA and its board members were notified by Tri-State about the congressional investigation. CEO Mike Dre Spring said, however, the co-op has not taken any action yet to express any views to Tri-State, he said. LPEA board member Gwen Unger said it was possible the co-op would wait for the investigation to play out before taking action. After the announcement of the congressional investigation, at least 8 utilities were members of the Utility Air Regulatory Group, including Arizona Public Service, have left the group, according to several news reports. San Juan Citizens Alliance Executive Director Mark Pearson said he would like to see Tri-State also end in membership in the group as well. Lobbying to eliminate air pollution standards is contrary to the concerns of much of the membership here at LPEA, he said. Just now for Dumb Laws with Austin.
Our Dumb Law segment are actual laws still in the books in many states, cities, and municipalities. This means that these laws are technically still legal. Dumb laws in Washington cities. In Waldron Island, no structure shall contain more than 2 toilets that use potable water for flushing. I think it's supposed to be portable. In Walla Walla, it is illegal to give noxious substances to a bird in any city park. In Wilbur, you may not ride an ugly horse. Dumb laws in West Virginia. It is illegal to snooze on a train. A person may not hold public office if he or she has ever participated in a duel. For each act of public swearing, a person shall be fined $1. When a railroad passes within 1 mile of community of 100 or more people in it, they must build a station and stop there regularly to pick up and drop off passengers. Whistling underwater is prohibited. A tax of 1 cent is levied for every 16 and 9 ounces of Coke sold in a store. Now for our weather report with me. Our current weather data comes from the DCTV weather station located in beautiful downtown Duff Creek. The current temperature is 72 degrees. Today's high was 77 degrees. The low was 38. The barometer is at 29.79 inches and falling. Humidity is at 22%. Wind is between 1 and 4 miles an hour from the northeast. Gusts have been moved up to 14 miles an hour. There were 0.0 of an inch of moisture in DCTV weather station today. Moisture for the month is 0.20 of an inch. Moisture accumulation this year is at 5.58 of an inch. Now for the big map, courtesy of the National Weather Service. Okay, on the border of California and Nevada, there's rain and thunderstorms. In Washington, there's rain and snow in Montana and Colorado. And all right, from Montana curving around Nebraska to the Great Lakes have rain and thunderstorms. From Texas to Virginia, there are rain and thunderstorms. In Texas and Louisiana, there is severe thunderstorms and possible flooding. And the northern point of the East Coast has rain and snow. Here is our exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Thursday, partly sunny, high high 72, low 46. Friday, high 73, low 46. Saturday, high 70, low 44. Sunday, high 72, low 46. I know how to speak, Devin, thanks. Monday, high 69, low 41. Now for the SNOTEL report, which is the amount of the snow packed in mountains across the state. We hope it will be helpful to our farmers and skiers. Statewide, the snow packed is at 113% of normal. Here's our southwest. We are up to 104. Here in the southwest, we are up to 159% of normal. Goodness. CO2, carbon dioxide, is a greenhouse gas and is one of the principal causes of climate change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which is the result in significant causes climate instability. This results in significant variations worldwide of moisture and hot and cold temperatures, but the general climate trend is that the planet is slowly warming. Therefore, it is important that we report the CO2 change. The following are the CO2 numbers in parts per million. Last week, 413.59. Week before last, 413.13. 1 year ago, 410.99. And years prior, 50 years ago, or 388.66. And 50 years ago, 326.66. Thanks to Dr. Peter Tanz of the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration and Michael McGee of the CO2 Earth Network providing this information. Remember, you can help keep our kids' news show on the air by buying a sponsorship. You can buy a sponsorship by calling 970-677-4019. That's 970-677-4019. Thank you. Now back to your news director.
And that is the end of today's DCTV 4-H Evening News Show. This is your news director, Dan, saying good night and thank you for watching.